Welcome back. Within the Gisborne East Coast area, there are around 40 Māori corporations and trusts farming properties of around 3,000 hectares on average. But there are only 6 Māori managers running them. A farm at Tairawhiti, southwest of Gisborne, has been set up by Iwi as a dedicated training farm for young Māori from the Tairawhiti region to address the shortfall.
About 2009, we were challenged by industry and Iwi to do something about the lack of young Māori coming through to be farm managers. Basically, the Waipoa model was up and running here, but there was really nothing specifically focusing on the need of Iwi and Iwi developing their own resources, particularly land. So that's why we looked at it and set up the Tairawhiti Farm Cadet program. We didn't have a farm at that time, but then we realised that it was easier to run the program if we had the farm rather than trying to run it on another farm, because there's always, issues about availability and being able to manage how we want to do things. So this farm came up, the opportunity came up. It was owned by an incorporation previously, and we knew it was possibly going for sale, so we put a proposal together and the owners accepted it. I'm the manager of Turanga Ararau, which is the Iwi Tertiary Provider of the Runanga Turanga Ararau, which owns this farm, and the 3 Iwi of Turanga own it. It's Whakawhakata, Ngāi Manihiri and Taitanga Mahaki, and the farm itself is part of under my jurisdiction as a manager. Each year we had 3 representatives, and they are the governing body, and I'm answerable to a CE, who then is obviously answerable to the trustees. Funding itself comes from the TEC, the Tertiary Education Commission, and other avenues where we can find it. We've actually recently been successful in getting Māori trade training, some assistance through Māori trade training for what we're doing here, because it's obviously developing Māori potential. What we're looking at with the farm itself, it does contribute and support the cadets. They don't have to pay to be here. The farm pays for their accommodation and their food. And the future for us is we would like to add to the property to make the farm more self-sustaining, to a situation where the property can pay for the farming, and we can do it a bit more our way. If the funding suits, we'll look at it, but if it doesn't suit, we can do it how we would like to do it. We're pleased with the calibre of the cadets each year. We just get a bit better. Like the young teenagers generally, so you have the issues of young teenagers, especially the young men together, but each year we're sort of finding it just a bit more maturity and a bit more focus coming through. One of the young ladies we had went on to Lincoln and finished a diploma, and now she's looking for work in the industry and being interviewed for jobs. But when they leave here too, we've also put them into the modern apprenticeship program so that they continue to study levels 4 and 5. And if we see any with potential to go on to university, Massey, Lincoln, we'll support them as well.
We've got to get this fence out of the way for the wool shed that's coming down the road. Seems we're moving it in and getting it put in place. We have to trim a couple of trees as well, so if we can strip this fence and get it out of the road, that'd be all good. So we'll hook into it, eh? It used to be a deer station before Turanga Ararau bought it, and so it was a little wee bit run down because deer tend to browse rather than graze, so a lot of the weeds and that sort of thing, and a lot of big paddocks. Our main aim is to subdivide paddocks, get the fertility up, try and control the weeds, eventually get rid of the weeds, because essentially it's the roughest station in the area. We've 3 different classes of stock. We run sheep, we run beef bulls, and we run cows and calves, just solely so that the cadets can get a broad range on all livestock. There's Kelly and myself on station, and we have backup with our office in town, which has got forestry and all the business admin and that sort of thing. So that's where all our support comes from. Kelly is a girl wonder. She does a bit of everything. She keeps me motivated, keeps me online, keeps us on track as far as all our unit standards go. She does a lot of our paperwork. 90% of our paperwork is done by Kelly. Without her, we can't really function because she structures everything for us. And structure is a huge thing. And it's one of my points that I lack a little bit. cadets, we've got currently 9 living on station at the moment. They're all boys. They range in age between 17 and 19. And my only criteria generally with the cadets is they're keen to learn and they want to learn, because I can't teach them otherwise. We sit them down, we have a few questions that we want to ask them, and also just to gauge their attitude. That's the biggest thing. It's hard these days with the young guys. Seems to be a culture out there where no one really wants to work. And that's what this is. It's learning in a working environment. They've finished their level 3 farming at the end of the 2 years. They basically learn everything, from putting fences in to riding, breaking their own horses. I tend to get them to break their own dogs in, because if you go to any of the dog sales, you're looking at $3,000 a dog, and no young shepherd can afford that these days. So if they learn to break their own dogs in, they're set for life. My own personal benchmark is the boys that I can put out into the working environment. If the cadets that I send off here don't cut the mustard, then it's me that's not cutting the mustard.
After the break, we go to Hawke's Bay to meet Ant and Alison Williams, who've developed a thriving business based around the